So I do feel like me and you and a couple of our friends, specifically, were a part of one of the first gold rushes of back end work when it comes to content creation, through AMP, through Playback, through Mr. Beast, and stuff like that. Clearly, we have seen the good side of it and the bad side of it. For those who, because I feel like now it's definitely more normal to hire editors and thumbnail designers and all these things. For those who are trying to get into the back end side of content creation, what are some of the biggest advice you have to give to those people? Because I think for me, one of the biggest things is just such an unregulated industry. Like content creation as a whole is an unregulated industry. The back end of it, honestly, more unregulated than the front end of it. So to that you say what?
Don't do it. I think I think one of our biggest quote unquote mistakes. Mistake is a strong word, but I'm using it. One of our biggest mistakes is that our eyes got open. Specifically to like how much editors can make, how much except this happens, that happens. What you can be asking for in this industry from like a true industry standard.
Mm-hmm.
My advice to those people is that it's just not it's not here yet. It's not in YouTube yet. Sure, we can name a bunch of one-offs, but like even right now, as I come up as a solo act in a different space, like the DMs that I get from people, my answer to they're like, "Oh, yo, how are you pumping out videos? How are you coming up with ideas? How are you writing scripts? How are you doing these things?" My answer is so simple, like I just hire somebody. They're not even thinking about that. And why that's important is they're not thinking about it means that they're damn sure not thinking about proper pay or willingness to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand one, everybody can't be on camera. Uh, and you probably do want to get on some back end stuff, but I would honestly stay away from this life and try to get into some other sorts of fields, try to go more corporate. I know that's probably not what you wanted to hear, but
No, that's fine.
I'm being dead ass. Like I would not tell somebody to try to be somebody's video editor right now.
Yeah.
Like the amount that somebody can pay, even with a channel my size, channel the podcast size. I'm trying to think of what size channel I would have to be in order to pay my editor a real living wage. And
Mm-hmm.
that would have to be like a tremendous that would have to be huge. I would have to be huge. I would tell people not to do it.
I actually agree. I've maintained this take for a minute now, of like, I think working for content creators is a good job if you need money, especially in this economy. If you need bread, go ahead and edit that one video out. But I think what people make a mistake on is thinking that this is a career path for them that's gonna, take them all the way to retirement and all of that. There's already questions about that for the content creator profiting off of your work. Like, the Kais, the Speeds, it'll work. Maybe they're different, but there's already a lifespan conversation for content creators. The back end conversation is much worse. Is much worse. There are no contracts being involved in a lot of this. A lot of this is contractor work. There are no benefits involved, especially if you're a family man. There's no benefits for you. It is all 1099 money. You can get fired whenever if they just like what you said. Even with applying, if their visions changes tomorrow, there's no severance pack. Like a severance. I'm gonna be honest. When I heard about a severance package in corporate world, it shocked me. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. But yeah, it's a job. I think that's ultimately what it is. Kind of similar to working at McDonald's, or like it's a job. To me, it's not a career path. For some, you gotta make ends meet, so you gotta do it. But I would never consider it a career path, for real.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like a side thing to make a couple hundred more dollars. Like if you have the ability to edit, pump out videos, like I got Ankle on my team now, an editor on my team, and he's able to pump out one of my videos in like 2 hours, maybe from like it's uploaded to him re-uploading the finished version, all the edits. He might be able to bang it out in 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, if that nets you X amount of extra dollars, and I'm just doing that, every other day or so like that. Oh, for sure. Yeah, get into it. Thumbnail, do this for a quick 40, $50, because I'm about to, I don't know, get a large meal or something, like take my girl out. That's perfectly fine. But other than that, yeah, no. One of the biggest deterrents for me is like the ability to get a new job, and that's something I found out when I worked with AMP.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this: it depends on how you look at it, but that was one of the misguidings of my thinking. Is that like, yo, you are doing this, yo, this is worth this much in this industry. How many people are
Yeah.
willing to pay you this much for this specific skill for what you do? Well, I was an on-site producer slash director slash writer of content for a group channel. Most of the people in my range weren't even doing IRL content at the time, let alone group channel stuff, let alone putting that much money into a video in and of itself. I don't think this is spilling the beans. I mean, there was a time we put like 15 bands into one singular video. Most YouTubers at that time, their version of IRL content was like going to Dave and Buster's and doing a Pop-A-Shot challenge. For
Mm-hmm.
real, for real. So with that being said, if they're not going to put that much into the video, they're damn sure not going to put that much into the person producing the video. There might have been 2 or 3 IRL groups in my vicinity, but even the IRL groups, 2 Hype was doing like backyard 3-point shootout challenges. And I would have to move cross country for it. The ability to get a new job is so hard too. Like that's probably like one of the biggest deterrents for me, for people to like do this shit full
Yeah,
time.
because I think even on top of that, I think it's a one conversation about how many people would even use your skill set if you get fired. I think there's another conversation of just how many people are hiring. Because I think there are creators that could use your skill set, but if they got their guys, they're not hiring. Like, this is not a job where, let's say you got, I'm gonna just stick to software engineering because that's my field. Well, used to be my field. If you get fired by Apple, there's 50 other companies looking for a software engineer that you can get a job, maybe not relatively quickly in this economy, but you got options. If you get fired by AMP getting paid $90,000 a year or whatever it is to produce content IRL, how many other content creators, how many other social media companies have the cachet to pay you $90,000? Because I understand, lifestyle creep is a bad thing, for many people, but it's also a natural thing. If I'm making $90,000 a year, I'm gonna live like I'm making $90,000 a year to some degree. But when that gets taken away, how do you replace that? And that's one of the things about back end work that just turns me off as well. I actually think you can make a career from it, but it's not through continuing back end work. I think it's actually using the network that you got to create something of your own, kind of like what we've done, what you've done, and also making like a back end service, which we know of a person doing that right now, making a back end service so that you can scale it up to something bigger than just you working for content creators.
Plus, last thing, it's also not respected by the industry. It's still not respected by the industry. Well, I was talking about with Sky the other day, because she's going to school for more traditional art stuff, more traditional graphic design, UI, UX, stuff like that. This social media stuff doesn't matter. It's amazing to me how I see so many young kids get into editing and they got the most fire edits. I can't remember buddy off TikTok's name that does like fire NBA edits, but super fire NBA edits and stuff like that. But look at every team's page. Look at the Lakers, the Celtics, the Hornets, the Heat. Look at their pages. That's not what they're using. Rico is like a fire graphic designer, and he has been picked up by
The Bleacher Reports.
Bleacher Reports and stuff, and they've been using them. But go on the Hawks Instagram page. They are using basic Photoshop work. These are basic edits. Their thing is about getting it out quick. That color grading that they have for sports on, this is how you color grade sport. They are not using that shit. Like, your skills won't even be respected.
I think because working for Playback, we got like a senior graphic designer. Like I'm talking like when I think of graphic designer, it's synonymous with a thumbnail maker. Prior to getting the job, completely different now. I ain't gonna lie. Don't. I would legitimately think he would consider it disrespectful to call him a thumbnail designer, because what he does is so much more than just making thumbnails. It's actually insane. So just even in the realm of being a graphic designer, there is so much more than just Photoshop out there. And I think that's where like professional training comes into mind, because he can work with so many different formats, work with so many different styles, come up with scalable formats and all these different things that we had a recent project where he was asking me like, yo, do you have any recommendations to sub in for me for this thing that we're working on? And I legitimately told him no. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know anyone that can do the things that you do to the degree of detail that you got it going on. But let alone editing. I think I've gotten a grasp of like even how editors in Hollywood get paid versus YouTube editors. Completely different.